In 1991, in congressional testimony, it was estimated that 200,000 women had been sexually assaulted so far in the U.S. military. If you take into account that women don't report because of the extreme retaliation, and that was more than a decade ago, I would say you could easily double that number, and it's probably somewhere near about 500,000 women have now been sexually assaulted in the U.S. military.
You kept hearing the same stories. I mean, these are incredibly tragic stories. I mean, there's a woman who joined because they really wanted to serve their country. They loved the military when they were in it. Their families were in the military. This was something that they felt that, as an American, this was the right thing to do. They were just incredibly traumatized by this experience, and so and the more we did these interviews, the more the more we really felt that this was a film we had to really make and finish.
Hey.
All right, see it.
Both my dad and my brother are prior Navy and now Army National Guard, and it's kind of like it follows in the family and follows the footsteps. I was excited and completely just hyped up about going, and all my family was proud of me. My dad is my biggest hero.
I told her, I said, you're going to be taken care of. And I guess that's one of the hard things that I have to accept, because I told her that she would be. It was in February. We got a call.
Once he was done, he rubbed his hand all over my entire body and told me, he said, "I own all of this." And I was just absolutely scared, didn't know what to do. I called my dad.
One of the first things she said is, "Dad, I'm no longer a virgin." And I said, "What happened?" He said, "I was raped." And I said, "Hannah, you're a virgin, because he took something from you that you didn't give." I said, "So don't ever think you're not."
My main nerve in my spine was pinched in 3 places, and my hips were rotated. I could barely walk. I had collapsed due to muscle spasms in my back because my back was injured during the rape.
My title is Director of Military Plans and Personnel Policy for the Navy. We have specifically trained judge advocates, our Navy lawyers, and our Naval Criminal Investigative Service. Those investigators, they're all specifically trained in sexual assault. Any report of a sexual assault is fully investigated in the United States Navy.
They didn't take care of it. For a year and a half, they were tracking down witnesses. They had all these students there, and they could have locked them down and said, "Hey, you're on legal hold until I get this statement." And they didn't. Hannah went through 3 investigators. It was like, okay, I'm giving this case. That's what it sort of felt like. Oh, all right, I'm giving this case. I got to take care of it. Oh, well, this is an E1. I really don't have the time to deal with it.
Females would come up to their commanders or their NCOs and say that they were either sexually assaulted or abused, and I don't think it was taken seriously. I think a lot of times a cursory investigation was done, and they were basically told to just suck it up.
I remember bringing in a young service member who had been brutally raped and bringing her in to see her command and trying to make sure that this young girl was taken care of properly. And this idiot chewed her out for crying, told her to stop crying over spilt milk.
A lot of times the credibility of the witness was called into account. Had the potential victim, had she made claims like this in the past. There was a lot of witch hunting going on.
I was ordered to advise a victim of her rights for false statement when I knew that she wasn't lying. I was asked to bring her in and advise her of her rights like a criminal and interrogate her for false statement, quote unquote, until I got the truth out of her.
What we hear again and again from soldiers who have been raped is that as bad as it was being raped, what was as bad, if not worse, was to receive professional retaliation in their chosen career merely because they were raped.